What's up, Pewter Peeps? Welcome into this Friday edition of the PewterCast as we are presented by our good friends at BETUS.com, your number one spot for all things Buccaneers, hot takes, and otherwise news analysis, whatever. I'm Steve Carney. That's Ren Steve. He's trying to get into the shot as I'm trying to get into the shot.
Very little leeway. I gotta fix this on Wednesday.
Yeah. So we've got time. That's the beauty of doing this podcast on YouTube, and we're working out the kinks on the video, and then we can get, but you still get the great audio wherever that is. So how is your week been, my friend?
It's been good. It's been fine. Did I tell you all my stuff got stolen out of my center console?
When we went to get a beer? No, because you had your.
No?
When was
Okay.
this?
I don't really remember. A couple days ago.
Okay.
Anyway, so I just had to reorder everything. So, but besides that, everything's been good. Yeah. Well, work's good. Bucs are good. Life's good. Everything's good. Good. Hey, Rays clinched.
Yes, they did. That was very happy. The only sad part about the Rays clinching on Wednesday was that I was trying my damnedest to get you there for it.
Yes, and my reputation preceded me, and the Rays said, "Yeah, not that guy. No way."
Yeah, it's not quite that, but they did say no. They did not say no because you were Ren.
Oh.
In fact, they wanted to get you in there, but unfortunately, there was about 30 other outlets that needed to be there as well, and so they were limiting it to one seat per person, or one seat per entity. So like even the Tampa Bay Times only had one person there. So
right, yeah, I could have been helpful. I could have been the guy running around the locker room. I would have had to buy goggles like by the sixth inning. Like, oh yeah, I need goggles because I'm going to be in the locker room and trying to get audio from Brett Phillips.
Yeah, well, luckily they did not do the whole spraying champagne everywhere. They did not do that. They did a champagne toast, which was nice, but
I heard it was low key.
It was very low key.
Good.
This is no big deal to them. This is the third straight year that they've made the playoffs, so they're worried about maybe Saturday when they have an opportunity to clinch the division title and not have to play in the wild card game. They might be happy about. They might be happier about that, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. Yes. So they've got 3 more home games. They'll wrap up the home schedule here this weekend and go out on the road, and then the Bucs will come back. So should be interesting to say the least.
Yes.
So
yes. How was your weekend? Well, I guess we just kind of went over it, didn't we?
Yeah. Let's put it this way: Thursday was my first day off in about 2.5 weeks. From everything that I've been doing, whether it's been Bucs stuff or the PewterCast or stpete9.com or all the other stuff that I do on days that the Rays have off. But yesterday was completely off, and so I got a chance to recharge the batteries. So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you sleep.
like a bump on a log.
Yeah, it was. What did you do on your day off? I took about 5 half-hour naps.
Yeah, I woke up late, and then I went and got my wife, who works from home, lunch, and after lunch I went back to bed and took a nap, and then I woke up and just puttered around and did some stuff, and went to bed early. So because I had to be up at 7:00.
Oh.
So, yep, early to bed, and then almost overslept this morning, and missed my hit. It was a close shave.
I was wondering because I was floundering. I'm like, okay, we need to find a segue here.
Yep.
It was a close shave for your radio hit.
It was a close shave for my radio hit this morning, and it's a good thing that I use Manscaped.
Yes.
To make sure that everything is all right, because the PewterCast is, of course, sponsored in part by Manscaped. And, of course, I have told the story multiple times about a guy that I worked with in the military that thought that the razor that you used down there was fine for also using on your face. So he was nasty. Let's just put it that way. And you don't want to be nasty, because that's why Manscaped is around, to help you with your grooming. And the brand new Lawnmower 4.0, which is now available with a improved ceramic blade, with longer battery life, with wireless charging. It is a fantastic product, and you can get it as part of their grooming kit, or you can get the Lawnmower version 4.0 separately if you've already gotten the kit itself, and you can actually get it with a discount thanks to us at the PeterCast. All you have to do is go to manscaped.com, use the promo code FANSIDED20, and you can get 20% off your order and free shipping. Again, go to manscaped.com, promo code FANSIDED20, and get the new Lawnmower version 4.0, 20% off and free shipping, thanks to the folks at the PeterCast. So, yeah, so I almost overslept my hit today because of it.
Yeah, well, everything worked out, and what also worked out this year is we have a title sponsor.
Absolutely.
BETUS, and part of that deal we struck with BETUS is we're bringing one of their experts in every Friday, well, every other Friday.
Yep.
And Barry Barger, I hope I said that right, will be joining us. Of course, we'll talk Bucs, Rams, and then he's going to talk some other, I don't know, lead pipe locks or bets that he likes. So without further ado, as they say, let's bring Barry in. Hey, Barry.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Barry, it's so good. It's so good to see you, my friend. We appreciate the folks at BETUS being our title sponsor here this year, and we are so excited to have you on here, because Ren and I took a look at last week. We did our picks for last week. I didn't go so well, and I actually wanted to ask you about two of my picks that I missed on, and tell me if you think that I was on the right path. Because I took the Jets +6, and my thought on that process on that is, yes, I lost on that, but you really can't predict that Zach Wilson's going to throw 4 turnovers or throw 4 interceptions in that game. So I feel like I was on the right track.
Right, or could you? Yeah, 6. I mean, if you're getting 6, I would have liked to get 7 there, but 6 points when you're getting 6, 6.5, 7. I mean, that's such a good spread to get in most games. So it's tough to say it was a bad play. I mean, it's the Jets, so 6, 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
I mean, it's in the cards. It can happen. I mean, but a lot of the rookies didn't have a lot of impressive debuts, but we're going to see another one this week with Justin Fields, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. Then the other pick that I took last week was the Bengals on the money line. It was just a +110. Andy Dalton, as I should say, with Joe Burrow, 3 straight pass attempts intercepted.
I watched it. He's on one of my fantasy football teams, and Cincinnati's got so many weapons and they've got so much potential. I just keep thinking. I mean, Joe Burrow's, he's going to get it. I mean, with Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase and I mean, in Higgins, the team's got to improve and got to be good. Don't give up on them. I mean, I wouldn't, because Burrow get his groove back. He's maybe still a little gun shy from his injury last year. Maybe. I don't know. But maybe. Yeah.
All right.
I like your design setup, by the way, though. That's really sharp. I don't know who does your graphics and stuff, but it looks good.
That's Ren.
I do.
Hey, Ren.
Yeah, apparently being a graphic designer is not that hard. You spend like an hour watching YouTube videos and go through a couple tutorials and look what I did. Yeah. But let's get to the big game, the one we want to talk about, Bucs Rams. The Rams are only favored by 1. We're going to talk the Bucs game every single week. what do you like? Like, is there a prop bet? Do you like the under, the over? Like, where are we at? And does, I guess, before we get into that, does the possibility of Antonio Brown, who the hell's Anthony Brown? Antonio Brown being out because of COVID, and JPP probably also missing because of his shoulder injury. Does that affect anything? And what do you like there in that game?
I think they're too loaded weapon-wise for Brady, for Antonio Brown or Anthony. He's probably Anthony on his birth certificate.
Sure. I don't know.
So, but Pierre-Paul, I think that's going to have some impact in this game. So right now it's Tampa Bay -1, -120. For those who don't know, that means it's 120 to win 100. And on the other side, on the Rams, it's +1. It's 100 to win 100. Quick tutorial there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but what I like most in this game, I like the over. Tampa Bay's been vulnerable to the pass, and Stafford's obviously proved that was a good trade for Goff. I mean, we knew that right away. That was a definite upgrade from Jared Goff.
Right.
When they pulled that off. And I mean, in the past 2 weeks between these two passers, they've got 1,254 yards and 14 touchdowns. I mean, this sounds like a really offensive game. And the Rams, their defense, we don't know yet because, I mean, they played the Bears they've just dominated a couple games. So this is going to be, I think this is one of those shootouts, guys. I really do. I think might be the last team to score. And usually we know who that is. That's 44-year-old Tom Brady.
Right.
And laying just one. And since it's -120, guys, it's trending to 1.5. So I would expect that to go to 1.5. So if you want to bet the Bucs at BetUS, I mean, bet them now because I'm expecting it to be 1.5 sooner than later. I mean, before the weekend. But I mean, you look at the Tampa rush D is great, but they've actually allowed a lot of passing yards. You know, they allowed. Yeah. So it's a big over game, and I think Stafford will keep it semi-close. But I could see this getting out of hand and Tampa winning by 7 to 10 points. But at any point, you could come back. You know, the backdoor cover, like, you know, you get a touchdown pass, it's 3, and there's 2 minutes left. I mean, if Tom Brady has the ball and there's less than 4 minutes left, good luck. You know, you're done.
What is the under-over right now?
It's 55 now.
55 and a half.
55 and a half. 55 and a half now, yeah.
That's like Maction style total. That's a college football. I don't know. And looking at the totals this week, I see 55. I see not
Minnesota,
only I see 55 and a half. I see Minnesota and Seattle is 55. I see Kansas City is 54 and a half. I mean, there's some seriously high totals this week. I would assume that the sharp guys think that, you know, defenses are not quite up to speed yet.
No, they're not. I don't think they think they are. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
And in the Chiefs Chargers game, that over would scare me a little bit. I actually, as one of my plays, I actually like the Chargers there because they're +7. I mean, they lost in overtime last year to them by 3, and then they beat them. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, that last game wasn't much of a game, but it doesn't really count. But it's a divisional rivalry, and those guys, I mean, they're going to play tough. If you're, like I was saying earlier, when you got the +6, I mean, if I can get +7 in some of these games, especially a divisional tough game like this, I'm going to take it. Yeah, that is. You know, I mean, that's just a key number, and one's a key number too. So that's why I'm saying on the Bucs, get on that now before it goes to 1.5, because you don't want to, you know, you don't want to lose because you waited and you got beat by a hook. You know, so that's
with that Chiefs Chargers game. I know you like the +7, but I mean, to me, I would think if you're going to bet the Chargers +7, wouldn't you want to take the money line on that at +260?
Yes. Give it a shot. I mean, Kansas City coming.
Your money, buddy.
Kansas City coming off a loss. I'm not betting money line against them. But yeah, I mean, odds wise, I mean, you've got that option. Plus, there's live betting.
Exactly.
Watch the beginning of the game, and if Kansas City scores a touchdown first, you might get plus 11 after right after the first possession.
There you go.
Live betting is a huge thing, and it's something to take advantage of too, because you can see the flow of the game. It's a big thing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we're taking the Bucs, Rams, and the over. What else do you really like out there?
I actually, with Justin Fields coming in, I really like the Bears. I like the Bears because they're plus 7, and right now they're plus 7 minus 145.5 is the total. The problem I have with Cleveland, and even in my power rankings, they're not in the top 10 in my power rankings because Baker Mayfield, I'm just not sold on because, they had that game 1 against Kansas City. And, he threw, he had to get rid of the ball, so I don't really blame him too much, but he didn't close that game out, and he's, this word game manager or whatever that everybody uses. If that's really a thing, then he's kind of more that because they've got such a tough running game.
Right.
But as far as the Bears go, they're pretty stout against the run, but you're not going to stop Cleveland, and so Cleveland's probably going to try to go to the air. I think to a certain extent, which is going to get Baker Mayfield in trouble. So I would guess he throws at least one pick, which makes a difference for me to get a full touchdown plus the point, as opposed to plus 6, which sometimes we find out isn't quite enough.
Yep.
Is that a prop bet? Can you do, over under on Mayfield on interception?
Oh yeah, they'll have prop bets. Oh yeah, and one of my prop bets that I bet every week is that Jared Goff throws an interception. And
you're like 57-0 on that.
2-0 so far this year. but the day of the game, sometimes they come out the night before. All the props you'll see on BetUS to the right side, it'll say show props.
Right.
And you click on that, and there's like 150, 200 props for each game. Yeah. Every receiver, rushing yards, receptions, rushing yards, receptions, quarterback passing yards. Will this quarterback throw a touchdown? Will they throw an interception? And so that's awesome that you brought that up. I didn't think about that, but I'm going to bet Mayfield throws an interception in this game. Seriously, because I think they're going to the pass. We'll talk about it next week, too. And we're going to be like, yeah, we all 3 cashed. It
should be a first for me because I didn't cash it all last week.
Follow me.
I went right in the dumper last week.
It happens. It's NFL, man. There's no way you're going to win every week in the NFL. Any given Sunday is not just a saying. It's reality, man. It's
a commandment.
But with it's great. The Rams and Bucs are both undefeated. So we'll talk about the huge game, especially in Buck Nation, right? My gosh, that's awesome. We had last year we had Warren Sapp is one of our representatives, and he was awesome. He was just he's a riot. He's just funny and personable, and I think is everybody in Tampa just always smiling, always having fun.
Well, we're all. It's always sunny here. You never have to worry about that, and so of course,
a huge plus.
And we're winning. That's been the big thing.
Before I comment on Warren Sapp, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Before I comment on Warren Sapp, is he still a BetUS representative? Okay.
No, I'm not sure what went on with that.
Can't stand the guy.
Okay, well then you'll be happy that he's not with us anymore. And so the Bucs, but one thing you guys know this too, they've had 9 wins in a row, scoring 30 or more points. Mm-hmm. So this is a prop that I love that I've already bet. It's the Bucs go over 28 points themselves.
It's only at 28?
Yes, it was 28.5. And so now it's 20. It's to the right side of if you look at the lines and the money line and the total, to the right of that, you'll see the Bucs 28 over 20. So it's 120 to win 100 over 20. It's 110 to win 100 under 20. On props, they do like what's called a 30-cent line. Instead of -110, -110, it's -120.
21-10.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a great one, for your listeners and everything, and make sure, like when you go to BetUS and use your guys' thing, the cryptocurrency bonus is 200% too, guys.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about. That even though you guys out there, and we'll hit the ad at the end and kind of tell you how to do this, but BetUS is given 125% when you put in cash, but if you're a crypto head, which I just made that up, they will give you 200% if you use crypto as your betting currency. So when you open your account and use our promo code, which we'll give you later, it gives you, if you're into crypto, they'll give you 200% of whatever you deposit to use on BetUS.
Yep. Make sure you use that code. Make sure you use that code so they know where you're coming from and you get that max bonus. That's a nice head start because in NFL you need it. You need
all the cash, all the currency you can get.
Right.
Gotta have the full feed there.
Absolutely.
So last one, this is it. Who do you like? Where do you like? So we got the Bucs and the over, we got the Bears and the points. Where are you looking? Like what's your third one that you think that has
Chargers.
The best chance? Chargers?
Chargers plus a 7.
Really?
And I'm not usually an underdog better, but there's 2 out of the 3. I mean, so that's 2 or 3. And yeah, I really think this will stay under a touchdown max. I don't think it's going to get to 2 scores difference.
So you wouldn't bet against the Chiefs losing?
Not straight up. That's where you have to discipline yourself, because some people will bet whatever the line is. They'll bet that team. They'll -3, -7, doesn't matter. But when it comes to point spreads and knowing that most land on 1, 3, 4, 6, or 7 as a win, so you've got to push, and then you've got 3 wins out of those 4 scenarios. But it's Kansas City. You're taking a chance, but it's a divisional rivalry. Chargers played them tough last week. Chargers' offensive line is way revamped for Justin Herbert since last year. So and Kansas City's defense has been,
Kansas City's defense beginning of the year is every year.
Yep.
It ain't there.
Yeah, right.
That's true. All right, Barry. Well, tell everybody. Sorry, Steve. I'm stepping on you. Kind of doing your job.
You were doing just fine, Ren. But Barry, how can people get a hold of you if they're looking to get your expertise?
Yeah, for sure. Go to betus.com, and we've got something called the Locker Room that's got every game analyzed, every team. We've got our own publications. So it's a great one-stop shop. So
it is.
You can look up this information. It's not skewed so you go one way or another because nobody knows what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's all stuff done by professional writers, and you can't believe how much information is on there. You can follow us at BetUS_official on Twitter or BetUS NFL at both. But and we're constantly doing promotions and bonuses through that also. So I would recommend getting on that on our social. We've got a TikTok account now that I did one for 2 days ago.
Wow! How was that experience?
It's new.
Talk about fish out of water. I mean, I don't know you that well, but come on.
You guys, it is what it is, guys. We gotta get with the times, and the age of the TikTokers is going up, so now they can bet.
They got money too.
Right.
Their money is just as green. Barry Barger, BetUS.com. Thank you so much for being with us this week, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
It's a pleasure. Can't wait. Hey, follow my plays. Come back a winner.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Barry. That is Barry Barger of BetUS.com. And Barry makes a good point that they have so much information on BetUS, and you've got so many plays on BetUS because life is back on. And sports bettors, you're back to normal. It's been a while. The pandemic kind of screwed everything last year, but you are back to normal, and BetUS has NFL, college football. They'll have NBA and NHL lines coming up as the regular season gets closer. UFC and PGA as well, as they are in their 27th year.
Ryder Cup.
That's right. Live betting on all of it. They've got the ponies for Ren, which is always what he likes.
I know nothing about the ponies. I just like saying the ponies.
The ponies. Where's Chris Thomas when I need him? You can log on to betus.com. Call 800-792-3887. Again, that's 800-79-BET-US. BET-US, you've got 125% sign-up bonus if you use cash using the promo code PewterC125. And as we mentioned, if you like crypto, are you a Bitcoin or an Ethereum person, you can sign up to use crypto as your currency. Use the promo code PewterC200 and get a 200% sign-up bonus. Again, there's plenty of bonus out there for you. PewterC125 if you use cash, PewterC200 if you use crypto. Customer service pros are ready to get you your phone, your social, your online sports betting kickoff started now, and play with the proven mainstay in the industry. BetUS, you bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com.
Every time, I sort of see like every podcast is sponsored by some type of betting service, right? Mm-hmm. I just feel, when you said like, hey, it was the pandemic, now it's back. I feel like that monologue at the end of, is it Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and
Al Pacino?
Al Pacino, is that Devil's Advocate? Yeah. That monologue at the end where he's talking about lawyers and he's like, we're coming out, guns blazing. Like, I feel that's like sort of what online betting is now. Like, the NFL has fully embraced this. And, there's no getting away from it. Like, no matter how you feel about it, like, there is absolutely no getting away from it. So, get on board or get out of the way, man.
Yeah, and you look at it, every sport is doing it. The NFL, you've seen the NFL ads for Caesars and for BetMGM.
Yeah.
And Major League Baseball has a show on MLB Network called MLB Bettor's Eye, where they go through all the lines. Yes. Yes, it's unbelievable. Puts Shoeless Joe back in the hall, crying out loud. If you're going to, and Pete Rose. If we're doing this, you got to put him in. Come on. But yeah, I think that now that the pandemic has started to ease up, we all got really depressed that, things were different sports wise. And I think things are going to start moving. The pendulum is swinging towards progress. And you're going to see this a lot with live sports betting. And I like that. I think it's pretty cool. So betus.com, promo code PewterC125 or PewterC200. All right, Ren, let's get into the
Let's get some football.
Yeah, let's get into some of the stories that have come up this week with the Buccaneers. We got to start, I think, with the fact that Jason Pierre-Paul is probably not going to play in this game. The official,
but if anybody can, if Jason Pierre-Paul was a superhero, he'd be Wolverine.
Yes,
because he just regenerates. Like, he has had career-threatening injuries twice.
Yep.
He's still playing.
Yep, the fireworks accident that caused him to lose most of his left hand, and the car accident that broke his neck. Mm-hmm. So, you think about it. If he doesn't play this week, something is up with that shoulder. So,
right.
But he is probably the only person that if they put him down on the injury report as doubtful, he might play.
He might play.
So, but I think for Bucs fans, even without JPP, you shouldn't be too worried about this, right?
Yeah. John Ledger at Pewter Report is who will be coming up later in this pod. He's very high on Joe Tryon Shoyinka, yeah. Shoyinka? Okay. And says he needs to play more. And he's put out some video clips where, that really support that. And what I like best about it, is Dominican Sue, who I love. He's become one of my favorite Bucs of all time. Just the way he handles reporters and the things that he tweets and things like that. He's very, very, very thoughtful, very cultured, very well-rounded. emotionally mature human being, which is weird considering his reputation when he started in the NFL. But he was asked, like, hey, what do you have to change going up against the Rams if JPP's not there? And Sue's just like, nothing. We expect Joe to step up. Like, that's it. Like, period, end of story. Like, we ain't changed anything. Like, we got Joe, so we're good. So I almost selfishly, since it's week 3 and it really doesn't matter and we're going to make the playoffs, and I'm not even really sure if it's going to be a drop-off without JPP there. I would say mostly in the run game, if anything, because, like, and I don't know if I said this in a tweet or I said this on a pod, wherever Joe Tryon went when he skipped his last year at Washington, wherever he went to train, every edge rusher needs to go there, because the Joe Tryon at Washington 2019 tape is not the Joe Tryon that came into the Bucs facility as far as understanding the position, the array of pass moves, the minutia of the position that he learned in that 1 year, really paid off. And I'd be really interested to know, and maybe I'll start kind of, sending some hints out there on Twitter and DMs and stuff. I want to know if the Bucs knew that before they drafted him. Were they drafting him off the 2019 tape and maybe a couple of phone call interviews, or did they dive deep and do like what he'd been doing in the off season? And I think it was in Northern California is where I don't know the name of it, anything. But anyway, to round this out, I'm kind of excited. I kind of don't want JPP to play.
You see, because you want to see Joe Tryon show
yes.
Be a part of it. Here's the thing what did he do? Obviously, he learned how to be a professional.
Yeah.
That's obviously the case here, and I would think that almost any defensive edge rusher, outside linebacker that takes a full year off to learn how to deal with the intricacies, and I'm sure he spent a lot of time doing film work, a lot of time doing drill work at that point, figuring out, okay, this is how professional, this is how things work at the next level. And he got himself a full year's head start. So he's probably like a second year edge rusher / linebacker, outside linebacker in a rookie's body. Would you think that's a fair assessment, the way that he has played?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's talked about, when he first got there early in training camp, when they would ask, JPP, and they would ask Shaq Barrett and Sue, and they all said that, I think JPP actually even said, like, I wish I knew what he knows coming in as a rookie. Mm-hmm. So, and I understand what you're saying is, like, you take a whole year off, yes, you should get better, but I mean, we've all had sort of like teachers and mentors that, I don't want to say didn't know what they were doing, but whatever they're doing where Joe Tryon went, he got, like, they vibed. He picked it up and he learned it, and he was like really good at it. It wasn't like stuff, he's always working on stuff, but going from not knowing a stab swim move at all to pulling it off in week 2 that he would have had a sack until Vita Vea ran him over, courtesy of John Ledger's Twitter feed. Like, I mean, it's like night and day from his 2019 Washington Huskies tape. So I think kind of depends on where you go. Yes, everyone should improve, but I mean, not to bring up, Jameis, but like we see Jameis do these, like Queen of Spades, and they're holding up cards in front of him while he's juggling, balancing on a ball. Like, okay, I understand why you're doing that, but I don't understand why you're doing that trying to get better as a professional quarterback. It's a cool trick. Like, America's Got Talent. Look at me, but
Stupid human tricks from
yeah,
Letterman.
yeah. It's just like, okay. I'm like, I don't really, and Jameis swears by the guy, and Jameis wants to do that. It's Jameis' life. Let him do that. But I don't think those were the kind of drills that Tryon was learning there in Northern California.
I think you're right about that for sure. So with JPP possibly, maybe Ren hopefully not playing, so we can see Joe try and show Yinka. Another guy that looks like he probably will not play this weekend is Antonio Brown. We talked about it on Wednesday's Pewtercast when we had JB Long on. Again, go back and listen to that conversation. That was fantastic. The voice of the Los Angeles Rams joining us to talk about this weekend's matchup. It doesn't look like AB is going to play. Apparently, he is still testing positive for COVID-19. So
is he? Have you seen that? I haven't seen anything.
I saw yesterday that he had tested positive.
Okay.
So I would assume that if he has tested positive 2 straight days, that he's probably not that he had. Well, that not only that, but he's probably not going to get, even though he is vaccinated, he's not going to get the 2 negative tests 24 hours apart before Sunday at 4:05.
Yeah, he's got to get. When do you have to declare him inactive? So he's got to get.
I think it's Saturday at noon.
Really?
I think. Well, I mean, they'll have the final injury report, but I think you can officially have him you have to have him active. I want to say Saturday at noon.
So I guess they have to make this decision. Do they want to wait till that's probably what they're going to do. Right before Saturday at noon, they're going to do one more test. If he tests negative or positive, excuse me, there's no way you can have another 2 more tests, before.
Here's the thing. If he tests positive today, he can't play tomorrow. He can't play on Sunday.
Why not? Why can't? What if he tests negative Saturday at 11? Because it takes another one Sunday at 11.
Because you have to have everything declared. What was it? Oh no, that was to get signed to to be signed to a roster to play. It's like Saturday at noon or something like that. That was a couple of years ago when Antonio Brown went to the Patriots. Like they had signed him on Saturday before week 1, and they didn't get him signed before noon, so he had to wait until week 2 to play.
Okay.
And then played one game and got let go.
The Bucs don't sound like the coaches don't sound like they think he's not going to play, and they're preparing him not to play. And so I think both guys that we've talked about, JPP and Antonio Brown, aren't going to play.
Yeah, and for me, I think that gives more of more credence to the thought that Jalen Ramsey could be Mike Evans' shadow, like we were talking about on Wednesday.
That's true. So that puts a huge, burden on Chris Godwin to carry the offense, and then whoever will step up, because also Jalen Darden might be active for the first week because Mickens has been on the injury report all week long with an abdomen. So, what AB gives you, Mickens gives you in a light version, which is the quick feet, hard to jam at the line, get him out in space, make guys miss. He hasn't sort of, we talk about Joe Tryon, coming in, knowing a lot of the minutia of the position. Darden is not there. But, if you're going to compare Antonio Brown to anybody in the receiving corps, Darden is the guy to go with. But, of course, it's probably going to lean more heavy-ish. I think O.J. Howard has a game. Gronk, of course, is going to have a game. And then it's going to be a combination of Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, sort of pick that up. And, we talked about Ramsey following, Mike Evans, and JB Long talked about the play-by-play announcer for the Rams, that, Tom Brady didn't shy away from throwing at Ramsey when he followed Mike Evans. And so we'll see. Obviously Antonio Brown, that kind of type of player, and sort of like the preseason camp season he's had thus far, at least game 1. Game 2, had a little bit of bad luck. They didn't target him a lot. But losing that type of player is never good. But, Bucs is like one of 2, maybe 3 receiving cores that can absorb that type of loss.
Yeah, because you still have your top 2, and you'll just have someone else kind of slide in there. You mentioned Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, probably the case. I would like to see, especially on third down, some more wheel routes from Gio Bernard. That would be nice.
I see Gio Bernard on the field at all. Like, please, like, I've been saying, I've said this since week 1. If you're gonna flex out Leonard Fournette and go 5 wide, just make it Bernard. Like, I don't understand. I don't. But
I don't either. So we'll see what happens there. And finally, I think we have to approach the 800-pound elephant in the room. Is Rojo really pissed off at John Ledyard?
Who knows? Who knows? But let's reset this. Okay, so John Ledyard was tweeting some things about that now infamous Rojo catch where he stepped out of bounds right before the marker, where he could have put his shoulder down and gotten it easily. Mm-hmm. And then the plays that followed where there was a huge hole and Rojo bounced it outside and got maybe like no gain to minus half yard. So now it's like 3rd and 1. Didn't they end up going for it on 4th?
They had a pass. They tried to do a bubble screen on 3rd down. That was unsuccessful. It was an incomplete pass. And then they had to go for it on 4th down. And Rojo picked it up. Rojo got the 1st down.
Right.
And that's what led to.
So John Ledyard was. Yeah, so John Ledyard was tweeting out those first 2 plays, a step out of bounds on the reception and bouncing it outside for no gain to a loss. And Rojo quote tweeted it and put his run from the Carolina game, which went 98 yards, and then a swing pass that he caught from Brady that he high hurdled a Chiefs safety and took it in front of the end zone. And so that, on a slow news day for the Buccaneers, that was all the buzz. But to you, what does that show you? Like, do you like that from Rojo? Do you not like that from Rojo? What does that show you? This is all hyperbole, and
of course.
But what does that show you? Like, is that like, that's what BA's talking about when he talks about him, not being there mentally, or like.
For me, the whole thing is, and especially in the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately? Yeah, it's nice to have 98-yard run, a big high hurdle. Yeah, great. You know what? You didn't do your job on those 2 plays, and it almost cost you a series. And who knows what happens if they don't make that? If he doesn't make it on 4th down in their own territory. Yeah, it was a 3-point game at that point. Yeah. And so you don't make that 4th down on in your own territory. You give Matt Ryan and company a short field. They've already come back from down 28-10, and so it's 28-25. And if you're gonna give them the lead. So yeah, this is Rojo, I think, showing that he's kind of thin-skinned in that way. Like maybe, and the only thing that was missing was a well, you never played John Ledyard. That's all that was missing there. Was like, come on. It's like Rojo's got to be better than that. Like he's got to be better than that.
Yeah, that's kind of like what you just kind of have to finish it off with. It's like you got to be better than that. It's never a good look, really. I mean, it's entertaining and it's fun.
Yeah, fun.
Especially when it's other teams.
And when it's other people, and when it's other people than you.
Yeah. So I mean, it was entertaining and fun, but yeah, it's never sort of a good idea to sort of air your differences out as a professional athlete in social media. It just never has worked out for anybody. So yeah, so I'm not going to sit here and say like, that's why Rojo's mentally weak because he can't take any criticism. I found it more funny than anything else, to be honest. But I think overall it didn't give any ammo to the hashtag Free Rojo Army out there. Yeah, so it hurt more than it helped. But at the end of the day, did it hurt? No, it didn't hurt. But so if it didn't hurt and it hurt more than it helped, did it hurt? No. Because, I mean, if Rojo takes his first carry and bounces it outside and gets a 1st down, goes for like 12 yards, like, everything's forgotten. Now,
Yeah.
if he gets the ball and bounces outside and fumbles,
then we're gonna have some words about that.
yeah. Then we'll be
let's
talking
hope
about it.
let's hope you're not speaking that one into existence. Let's hope that's the case. But yeah, for me, I've seen the only thing that would have been worse for Rojo is if he had put up Jameis Winston eating a W. like,
God.
like just put that up.
Yeah. Yeah. You're banned from the next pod for even bringing that up. That was the worst ever.
I know. It is the absolute worst. All right. We got about 10 minutes or so to finish up here. So let's get to our picks for the weekend. So
sure. I will go first this time. You went first last week. Do you have 7?
I have 3.
Okay, all right. We had 3. I went straight point spreads on these. Some of the prop bets, the early prop bets were interesting. Did I say that earlier, or did I say it to you? Anyway, there's one out there.
You said it to Barry.
Did I say it to Barry?
Yes,
no, the 1.5 yard. No, I didn't.
Yes. Oh no, that you told me before we got started.
There's a prop bet out there that the shortest touchdown in the Rams-Bucs game is at 1.5 yards, and it's even money. So I think that's a nice prop bet to go after. I did not. For my first one, the Falcons are playing the Giants, and they're getting 3 points. I don't think the Giants are any good. I think the Falcons have enough firepower and offense to win the game, and I don't think Daniel Jones is good enough to exploit the weaknesses in the Falcons' defense consistently as the quarterbacks they've played so far, which is kind of weird saying that because Jalen Hurts, but they ran a lot too. He was kind of like an option guy. So I think the Falcons win. So and you're getting 3. So the Falcons getting 3 is my first one this week.
Yeah, it is +3, but it's also -120. So you got to lay 120 to win 220. But yeah, that's just because it's 16.
So just win.
So
just win.
Falcons +3. I'm going to sound like Barry here in a little bit, and it is hilarious that I had my picks done before we had Barry on.
Okay.
And the first one, and I told you this before we started this game.
You did.
I'm also taking the Bears +7 with Justin Fields making his first start. I like the fact that he's getting a touchdown, so I will take Chicago +7, and it is -105 as opposed to even money. So
I think that's not going to work out, but that's just me.
Obviously, Cleveland's wide receivers are banged up, so I think that's a good
point. That's true too. I just think Cleveland's defense is going to have something for the Rook, but we shall see. I am taking one of the hottest teams in the NFL, the Cardinals. They're playing the not hottest team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are laying 7.5, so they got to win by 8 or more. I don't think that's too far cry. Kyler Murray's going to run around and find guys just wide open, just standing there for 85 yards like he does. And so that's where I'm going with my second one. The Cards laying 7.5 against the Jags.
Yep, I'm laying 7 with the Buffalo Bills. They are at home taking on the Washington farce of a team. Nice. So I will. There you go. So give me Josh Allen and company -7 at home against Washington.
You know what? That's my third one as well. Taylor Heineke played his butt off against the Bucs, ran around. Bucs played soft defense, made him drive it down the field when he got in trouble. He ran, no Devin White to knock his block off. Then he starts again, which was last week, but he played the Giants. And I just don't think those hole shots, the Bills' safeties are some of the 2 best safeties in the league. No one really talks about them. No one really knows that. Sort of those hole shots that he hit behind the corner in front of the safety against the Giants in zone, I don't think they're going to be there. The Bills' defense is young and fast and good, and I think the legend of Taylor Heineke comes crashing back down to earth And I think the Bills win big in this one. But to do it, you have to lay, like Carney said, lay 7. And I feel very comfortable doing that.
Yep. And my final one is I am taking the Bucs minus the point. Bucs -1 at -120, getting it before it goes to 1.5. So I like that. That the Bucs going to 3-0. So there you go. Those are our picks. I will have those up here later this afternoon, probably before I leave for Tropicana Field, so you can get a hold of it. Plus, a link to subscribe and to sign up at betus.com. So those will all be up.
You have that link? Don't you?
I do.
Okay, cool.
So
all right.
we'll have that all up there. So
game predictions.
Game predictions. Well, you already know that I'm taking the Bucs -1. I think it's probably going to come down to Tom Brady leading a fourth quarter drive for a late score to win. I think it's probably I think it's 34-27. I think that's probably the right number to go with. So I think they get above 28 and above 30 points, and they go to 10 straight wins with 30+ points. So I'll go 34-27 Bucs.
Bucs win 45-42. Woo! No defense anywhere. This is the new NFL. Get used to it. That's why 3 games are at 55+ on the over, and we're one of them. It's San Francisco Rams like 2-3 years ago, Monday night game where it was just bombs away. The only thing that I just feel like Sean McVay does that short passing thing like he did, last year to get on the edges. I think he's going to try to start with that. I think the Bucs are going to expose the Rams as not such a great defense as people think they are, and they're going to have to start pushing down the field with Matthew Stafford. And guess what? Matthew Stafford is a really good quarterback that no one really knows. Well, I shouldn't say knows about, but he's when you talk about the Bradys and the Rodgers and then whoever you want, Mahomes, like Stafford's right there. I think so. And now he's got the talent around him, and he's going to show it, and it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, he's had to win with grit and determination throughout the course of his career being in Detroit, and now that he has weapons to go along with it, I think you're right. He's gonna show why he's one of the best. He's always one of the best quarterbacks statistically. If you have him for fantasy, he's always a good guy to have. And this year, he's going to be able to back up all those all the numbers, because as a certain coach I remember used to say here, stats are for losers. So that's a Raheem Morris.
So is your record, Raheem.
Yeah, I know.
You can make stats. I always say that, like, who's was it, Raheem, or was it?
No, it was Ra. It was Coach Ra.
No, who said you can make stats say anything you want? Was that Ra or Lovey? I think it was Lovey.
That was Lovey.
And my response would have said, "Can you make it say you have a winning record?" I'm like, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
Sorry, Lovey.
Sorry, Lovey.
Very disappointed.
Looking really good with that Texas D.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Let's not.
How's this guy still coaching? How is he still getting jobs? He's just stealing money at this point.
Yeah. Sounds like some other people that I know.
Yes, lots
not
of them
not on this podcast. So.
Thanks.
We're making our money. We're making our money the old-fashioned way. We're taking it from gambling sites like BetUS.com.
Yes. The new American dream.
That's right. All right, let's bounce on out of here because we have taken up most of the hour here. So, Ren, it's time for the Ren Addiction. Tell people, where can they find you?
Best place to find me is on Twitter at the Pewtercast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you don't want to put your tweet out there, feel free to slide in my DMs, and we'll talk Buccaneers football there as well too.
That's right. And you can follow me on social media. I'm at Steve Carney, CP9.com for your Rays news analysis. Again, we only got 3 more home games this year before the playoffs start, and that begins tonight against the Miami Marlins. So I will be there. So if you're coming, give me a shout, and I will shout you out there. What else? That's right. Pewter C125 on BetUS.com. Use that promo code and sign up. 125% sign up bonus. You deposit $100, you get $225 worth of spendage. that you get to play with. So it's good stuff. And then Pewter C200 if you want to use crypto, and you get a 200% sign up bonus. So double your sign up in a bonus. So that's awesome to do, again, at betus.com. Thank you to them. Thank you to Fansided Network for being a part, and subscribe to the PewterCast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Leave us a rating and a review, and go to thepewtercast.com for the latest on the show. And until Sunday evening, when we get ready for the live broadcast with your feedback after Bucs and Rams. Ren, are you ready?
I am.
Go Buck yourself.